Man United 1, Brighton 2. How do you assess that? How do you start to assess that? Because there's many opinions on it really as to why we lost that game and how we lost that game.
Not backing the manager, that's what I'd say. I think the best two players for me were Eriksen and Martinez. I thought Eriksen in particular in the second half when he was played deeper, when he's got the pitch ahead of him, when he can see options, he put in a great cross, he had a good shot as well that got saved. Martinez, as a lot of other people have said, I've been very impressed with him today as well. But yeah, I think the reason why we lost the game, we've got too many players here from last season and from previous years who haven't been consistent enough, who haven't been good enough over the years, and there's not the right profile of players in our squad that fit the system. You've got Fred playing in a 6 role, who Fred's okay as a number 8, but as a number 6 he's not it. McTominay for me, I don't think he's particularly good at 6 or 8, but I think Fred is not that player you want to link defence and attack. That's where Frankie de Jong would come in if he were to come in. Fabian Ruiz.
That was so annoying, innit? It was like literally the mistakes that Fred was making. You was like, that's why he can't be there.
Yeah, exactly. And we've got Martinez, we've got Maguire, who are good progressive passers, but you can't just rely on defenders to progress the ball. You need midfield players to do it. De Jong can do it through his passing and his carrying as well. So I think De Jong, if you look in the forward areas, Rashford can't even beat a man. You know, Rashford's best attribute, although some people thought he was too direct, at least he could beat a man. Now, I haven't seen him beat a man, consistently, time and time again. So in front of goal as well, snapping at things, the same with Bruno. So I think the reason why we lost the game, we haven't got enough players in the team that fit the right profile for Erik ten Hag in terms of the profiles that he wants. We're being linked with Arnautovic. I don't really know. I don't think he'd be a starter. We need starters in this team. I think left back we're okay for this season with the 2 players we've got. We definitely need a right back. You look at Dalot today.
What happened? Because on the tour, it was very positive. He's, I watched him do quite well on the tour. Yeah. He's been speaking up, saying, he's got his career back and he's happy, etc., etc. Kick off, 10 seconds into the game, nerves set in, and he just wasn't I want to say his best because we haven't really seen his best, but he just wasn't at the level, was he? Alongside the other fullback in Shaw as well.
Well, it's the same with Jadon Sancho. Those two had a great relationship in pre-season. When one was slightly wider, one came narrow. They had a really, really good relationship. But today, they just look devoid of confidence. Dalot, I think Dalot has got some good attributes, but even on the ball, as you said, he looked shaky. His end product wasn't fantastic. So, look, the board have got to look at. I'm sure we know the Glazers, we know the problems there, but they've got to look at the performance today. They've got to look at the players we've got in the squad, and they've got to realise that if they don't invest in this squad, we won't finish higher than 6th this season, and that's the reality. Maybe even lower, and that's not being negative. If you look at Arsenal, Spurs, Chelsea, City, Liverpool, I don't see us finishing higher than those teams unless we sign at least 4 players. I think you look at
on top of the 3 we've already got.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you look at the likes of Sesko. I think he could be a good buy. You look at, I think, right back. If Dalot, even though we don't think Dalot might not be the answer, we still need a right back. If he were to get injured, you've got Lindelof maybe as right back because Wan-Bissaka's not suited to this system as well. So I think the positives today, I think Eriksen and Martinez were brilliant. I really do. I think Martinez with his progressive passing, I think someone else mentioned.
What is it? Yeah, what is it about him that is a positive?
He's better technically than McTominay and Fred. So our centre-back is better than our 2 midfield players technically in terms of his fundamentals. He controls the ball well, he never looks phased, he's got a great left foot, very progressive. And also, someone else mentioned in the air as well. There's this false narrative going around that just because you're small, you're not good in the air. That's total rubbish. It's about aggression, your leap, the timing of your jump. And Martinez, I thought, did pretty well.
Yeah, there were times where, because I think it was a clear ploy by Brighton. Okay, Danny Welbeck, go and stand on him. Yeah. We'll ping it to you. But there was that anticipation when you're small of, okay, I'll wrap round. Someone come and wrap round me. He can win it header. Where's he going to go? Or I can go and win this one and I'll get in there. And like you said, or I'll let him bring it down and then I'll nip in. His judgment of when to choose what to do looked quite good. A couple of times, he might have looked a bit shaky. That's going to come, but overall, he looked like exactly what we needed.
In all fairness, I'm not a great fan of Maguire generally, but I thought Martinez and Maguire, I thought they were okay. I think those two and Eriksen were probably our 3 better players.
So the biggest problem for you today was the midfield?
Midfield and attack as well. No Martial. Martial is key for the way that Ten Hag wants to play with Rashford and Sancho. Martial's that glue, that link. And even though Martial's had injury problems, consistency problems, Martial's general raw ability is really fundamental for this team. I still think we need another attacker because you can't rely on Martial because of his injuries. But Martial is the link for this attack. Martial drops into pockets. You know, Rashford can run in behind. He's not as good as Harry Kane, but you look at what Harry Kane does for Tottenham and the importance of him with that front three with Kulusevski and Son. Yeah. So I think when Ronaldo came on, we were a little bit more direct. We got more crosses into the box. But we just need so much more flex. We need so much more. I think some people don't realise how much we need. We've had managers have made poor signings in the past. You know, the likes of Wan-Bissaka and Tellez. Ollie, you know, whether he had to say in the signings or not, a lot of Ollie's signings, those type of players don't suit Ten Hag, I feel.
Yeah, so you literally got to rip it up and start again, haven't we?
And I thought Van der Beek, I thought he did okay when he came on. I'd put him ahead of McTominay as an 8, although I think Van der Beek's actually a 10. I think Van der Beek, I just think McTominay, I think he's okay, but not for us.
So it's just both of them, McTominay and Fred, just not good enough for us.
Yeah, not in this system. I think Fred's decent as an 8, but you see what he does for Brazil, etc. But in this system, we need a better register, if you like, in that number 6 role. De Jong or Ruiz, I'd be happy with, but we've got to invest. As you know, as a lot of people have said, we've got to invest. Else we won't do anything this season with this sort of spine of the squad. We've got to invest a lot more.
Next game, last question, is obviously Brentford away. It's tough. You know, I remember the first half of Brentford away last season. They absolutely ruined us, and it was 0-0, but they should have been winning. It's going to be a tough game. What should Ten Hag do, in your opinion, after having seen that and seen how he wants to play, which is 1-6, and then, you know, telling the other midfielder to go and join Bruno? What should he do? Work on it again in training and say, this is what I want from you, and this is what you do versus what you don't do? Or does he make changes for that game in midfield for you?
Well, I think Malacia, he looked a bit rash when he came on, but he was trying to. I think Malacia should come in for sure. I think in pre-season Malacia impressed me more. I'd bring Van der Beek in for McTominay probably, but you can't really change. You've got to play Fred or McTominay. Yeah, you have to play one of them. And then in the attacking areas, you know, I wouldn't even mind seeing Garnacho play ahead of Rashford at the moment. I just think Rashford, I think Bruno's place as well is in danger. So I think Eriksen's got to play deeper. I think Garnacho, I'd rather see him in maybe for Rashford at the moment. But I'm clutching at straws. Garnacho isn't ready. Elanga's not.
Yeah, but it's like you'd rather see something else than what you're seeing.
Exactly.
Really,
You know, I think Rashford is in trouble in terms of his place. I think if we bring in that Cody Gakpo, I think if we bring in another attacking player, I think Rashford could be dropped. And that's what I want to see. If you play poorly, I don't care if you like the player or not, you get dropped. You know, you look at Spurs, you know, they've obviously brought in Richarlison, Bissouma as well, so they've got a lot of depth, Spurs, a lot more depth I think than we have. So I just think Ten Hag needs to be brave, he needs to make big decisions, and he needs to drop players that aren't playing well, and he needs to be backed. If he's not backed this window, we will struggle.
Nice one, mate. Great stuff. Cheers, man.